Sitting comfortably billions of miles away on its orbit from our planet, the blue spherical giant has always marveled humans with its sea bluish color compared to Earth's vibrant mix, its enormous size, its distinct rings and ring arcs, and overall, it's just been a wonder to know what Neptune is. So what did the photographs taken by NASA reveal to the world about Neptune? Does the knowledge about Neptune have many similarities with other planets out in space? And when will the next expedition to Neptune or other planets farther from Earth be? Humans have tried uncovering the mystery about all the planets that orbit the Sun, and this curiosity led scientists to venture far out past the ozone layer of our planet, deeper and outermost into space, to find answers to the questions about our neighboring planets. The first artificial satellite to ride past Neptune was the Voyage 2, which took place in 1989. This voyage passed Neptune at about 4,000 kilometers per hour, approximately 2,983 miles above Earth's North Pole. It was through this expedition that humans were able to get a good look at Neptune in all its majesty. This was done with a set of photographs taken by a space probe as it passed swiftly close to the surface of the giant azure blue planet. The focus of today's video is Neptune, and before we talk about humans' first encounter with this giant blue, we should first gain an understanding of what makes the planet what it is today, and more. Not much is known about Neptune, as humans are yet to step into the atmosphere of this planet, but through science, a lot of information has been discovered about this planet. Neptune has been evaluated to be the third largest planet in our solar system, the first being Jupiter, followed by Saturn. Comparing our home planet with this giant blue, Neptune makes our planet look pretty small, being 4 times larger than Earth, with 24,622 kilometers and a towering radius of 15,299.4 miles. If you can't get the numbers together, imagine the size of our planet is that of a nickel, and Neptune being as big as a baseball. Furthermore, Neptune sits 30 astronomical units from the Sun, which is quite far taking into consideration the length from the Sun to our planet. 147.84 million kilometers is 1 astronomical unit, AU, in length. Neptune is calculated to be 4,495 billion miles from the Sun, and 4,413,547,761 kilometers from our planet, that being equivalent to 29.502745 astronomical units. Despite what you may think, Neptune isn't a planet made from rock compositions like Earth, but rather a combination of elements that place it on the list as one of the 2 ice giants in our solar system. The other planet being Uranus. Neptune combines a mix of hydrogen, helium, methane, and ethane in its upper atmosphere, and this would actually explain why the planet's azure bluish color. Neptune's methane-filled atmosphere plays a huge role in its coloration. This is as a result of infrared and red light absorption done through the atmosphere, giving off the blue tint. Due to the element combination of Neptune, the planet is in a constant stage of aggregation, where instead of solid ice, its surface is made of freezing liquids and gases. Still, it is considered to be the coldest planet there is. Did you know that Neptune was named after godly figures in Greek mythology? That's right, Neptune got its name from the Greek god Neptune, who in all was regarded as the protector of the seas and ocean. Since the celestial blue giant possessed a color that would lead one to think of the oceans and sea, it seemed only fitting to name it that. You are probably realizing just how different and strange Neptune is. Much different from what you'd expect from a planet like the one you're currently living on. But did you know Neptune only orbits the Sun once in 165 years? Much bigger than the 365 days we know on Earth. And if that isn't bizarre enough, did you know that a day lasts a lot shorter on planet Neptune compared to our planet? Thanks to its volatility, the giant blue only needs 16 hours to complete a full rotation. Going back to the atmospheric conditions of Neptune, due to the long distance between the planet and the Sun, the radiation expelled by the Sun has a lessened effect on Neptune, which is a contributing factor to why the planet is so cold. With an average temperature of about -200 degrees Celsius, -392 degrees Fahrenheit. One popular question on Google about Neptune is Neptune the farthest planet from the Sun? This is a boggling question that has caused controversy, as initially Neptune was known to man as the second most farthest planet from the Sun, until 2006, when Pluto, previously seen as the farthest, was downgraded to a mere dwarf planet. It was proposed by the International Astronomical Union that larger bodies would be seen as planets in our solar system, but that many didn't take the news pleasantly, as media riled up against the theory. Currently, as of today, Pluto is highly regarded as a planet, which makes Neptune the second farthest from the Sun. As more research about Neptune was done, it is estimated that Neptune, although a complex world with an in-solid cold state of aggregated liquid, does have a core in the center of its mass, which is just about the size of the world we live in. It is also estimated that the temperature of Neptune's core is up to 7,273 K, 7,000 degrees Celsius, 12,632 degrees Fahrenheit, and this difference between temps of the atmosphere and the core create massive and aggressive windstorms on Neptune. With such temperatures, windstorms, and distance from the Sun, Neptune would most likely not be an ideal spot for starting the next human civilization. Neptune, just like other planets, runs on a completely different set of rules from our planets. Like the difference in the number of natural satellites, Neptune has a total of 14 moons, which have all been given names in the order to which they were found. Naiad, Thalassa, Despina, Galatea, Larissa, Hippocamp, Proteus, Triton, Nereid, Halimede, Sao, Lomidea, Samoth, Neso. Though thoroughly there have been these 14 active moons circling Neptune, another candidate had been spotted first in 2002, but only twice before disappearing into the void forever. This candidate was termed CO2N4. As for where it lies, only space knows. Another interesting fact about Neptune, and one which would spark the imagination of a child, is the ring system of Neptune. To clear up the theories, the ring system that is seen cycling around Neptune is not a magical space bridge that you would see in a movie, but rather a clogged combination of gases and rocks which cycle around the giant blue in hundreds of thousands of lines. These consist of asteroids and microscopic gas particles. The distribution of these rings is not equal in all parts, as most areas appear to be a lot thicker than the rest. This is what astronomers term as ring arcs. You are probably wondering why these rings have come to be as they are, and why they are other rocks and gases floating through space that haven't followed the flow of these rings. To answer your question, in theory, the masses you see flowing ring-like flow are actually trapped in this continuous pull for as long as the gravity of that certain planet exists. The gravitational pull of a planet like Neptune is what causes matter flowing through space to get held in the ring-like motion. And this can only occur when the masses float close enough to the planet, enough to get drawn in by its gravitational attraction. There isn't a fluid state of motion within these rings, so once objects are trapped, they remain steady in place, not clumping into other masses to form larger ones. These rings also move at different speeds, depending on their mass opposing gravity. Neptune, along with Saturn, Uranus, and Jupiter, are the only planets in our solar system that have rings. Researchers on these rings show that they haven't always been there, and planets like Saturn are losing their rings, estimated to be ringless in 100 million years. Taking a look back at the pictures captured by Voyage 2 reveals a lot about Neptune, like these images which showed natural structures of the clouds forming vertical reliefs. The part of clouds that are exposed to the sun naturally shine brighter than those left in darkness. Voyager 2's closest experience with the giant blue happened on August 25, 1989, where the space probe glided past Neptune with a separating distance of just 3,000 miles. The second photograph taken of Neptune would stir up some mystery, as it displayed what scientists termed as the Great Dark Spot. Many scientists believed this to be a huge hole in the cloud cover, but after further studying the spot, it turned out that it was a cyclone the size of Asia and Europe. Moving anti-clockwise, the cyclone is estimated to have taken 18.3 hours to circle the giant blue. Later down the line, after the space probe had taken another picture of Neptune, it appeared that the cyclone had completely disappeared, creating a mystery of what made it disappear, which science still hasn't explained away. Theories are that the storm was caught up eventually by the planet's hot temperature possessed by its core, but until now, that mostly is just a theory. Before Voyager 2 had even married at Neptune, smaller dark spots like Scooter had already been detected on the planet, which was further proven in photographs taken by the space probe. This smaller spot moved much faster, with an around Neptune time of 16 hours. As Voyager 2 moved up, its photographs revealed Neptune's companions, which included its moons and rings and their ring arcs. Out of all the moons, Triton being the largest, Proteus got the most attention of the astronomers, as it was the first moon with an abnormal shape, far from the spherical ones. Proteus is the second to largest of Neptune's moons, but Triton was the winner in ranks of size. As images revealed, the beauty of this moon was obtained from its numerous scars and markings. This led scientists to realize that Triton was still geologically active. As though there were 14 moons discovered around Neptune, Nereid was the last discovered. With more than 30 years passed since this galactic giant was explored, scientists plan to once again venture into space to uncover more about these giants and learn from them. Although there is no set time of when this will happen, we can only wonder at the mystery held in outer space.